Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Hare Ram. Till 4:30. So we start with prayers and then we continue our session. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण. So we are continuing our Bhakti Shastri study on Nectar of Instruction of Updeshamrit. Updeshamrit, actually it is nectar, Upadesh of instructions. But many times instructions are not very nectarian. To follow them, especially in the sadhaka stage, it's more of a struggle. It appears to be like a poison. Instructions. But what appears to be poison in the initial periods will transform into nectar as we keep on practicing. So that's why it's nectar of instruction. So we completed our second verse on items that are unfavorable for devotional service. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Prabhu, you are audible.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Yes, very much audible.
Thank you. So, the second verse talked about 6 items that are unfavorable for our devotional service. Vinashyati, Shadbhir Bhaktir Vinashyati, Atmanashyati. So that are unfavorable for devotional service. And next he speaks about which are favorable for a devotional service. 6 things. Okay, I think we'll skip today the verses recitation. Next time we'll sing. But this verse we will sing. Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat. Please repeat. Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat.
Utsahat
निश्चय धैर्यात्
Tattat karma pravartanat.
तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात्
Sangatyagat sato vritteh.
संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते
Shadbhir bhakti prasidyati.
षड्भिर्भक्तिर्प्रसिद्ध्यति.
Shadbhir bhakti prasidyati. Prasidyati means it increases. Bhakti increases by the 6 items. What are the 6? This Utsaha, Nisya, Dhairya. All the 6 items we'll discuss one by one. So can someone read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. Being enthusiastic is one. Second is endeavoring with confidence. Third is being patient. Fourth is acting according to regulative principles such as Sarvanam,
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu,
Sarvanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Samar,
Smaranam.
Smaranam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Then hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and sixth is following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of your devotional service.
Yeah, thank you. Sangatyagat sato buddhe shadbhair bhakti prasiddhyate. So one thing is common in the both verses, second and third. Can anyone remember, can guess or understand and tell what is the common thing from second and third? What is second verse?
Abandoning of devotees, non-devotees.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Rai. Abandoning association or not devotees. Sangatyagat, the word is used here, Sangatyagat, giving up the association of the non-devotees. There, Janasangha, association of the non-devotees, Janasangha. So in a different term here use Sangatyagat. So that is the very essential aspect for a devotee. That's why it's emphasized twice here. In the second and third verse is both common. Janasangha and Sangatyagat. Both is the keeping away from the association of the non-devotees. That is it's just like when we have a disease, though we are taking medicine, but still if you are taking those items which are not conducive for health, then the medicinal effect is very, very minimal. So that's why this is a very crucial aspect to keep association of the non-devotees away. What it means, we will see. What Prabhupada will, a little more details, he'll explain what it means to keeping away the association of the non-devotees. And apart from that, we have to practice other things so that we go fast. So one is a negative vector and 5 are positive vectors going ahead in the road. So other 5 vectors are being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, having patience, acting according to regulative principles. Means we are following, executing these principles. So the niyamagraha, their rules and regulations we are talking in the second verse. But here is more of execution of these 9 limbs. Tat tat karma pravartanat. The items are executed here. Prabhupada translates here as various activities favorable for devotion by performing them. Tat tat karma pravartana. So the 9 limbs are called this tat tat karma pravartana, as Prabhupada is translation is written. Acting according to the regulative principles means executing this 9 process devotion service. That is called tat tat karma pravartana. The niyamagraha, the rules and regulations that are more subtlety is spoken. Niyamagraha means, of course, in that agraha is a short vowel where you are not at all taking up the principles. Agraha means it's more of a internal attitude for which we are doing niyamagraha. So here is more of execution is spoken. Tat tat karma pravartana, execution of 9 process of devotion service. There is more of an, but especially when it is talking about niyam agraha, when you are taking up the principles, but the motive is wrong. Motivation is spoken. Here is more of a physical execution is spoken. Tat tat karma pravartana. We are executing definitely with a right motive. That is also has to be there. So these are the 6 items. Apart from others are very quite clear. Enthusiasm, enthusiastic, being eager, endeavoring with confidence. We are definitely enthusiastic, putting our endeavors, but it has to be supported with confidence. That means we are not stopping in between, losing or discouraged in between. And with patience, we are waiting for long as well. And the confidence goes for a long time. Patience. We are patient means we are, though the results are not appearing in the horizon, we are patient. So, of course, these are all a little interconnected qualities, but at the same time, a difference will be there, more or less. Interconnected qualities, all these. Abandoning association, we discussed, and then following in the footsteps of previous acharyas, sato vrutte is mentioned, translated by following in the footsteps, means having the association of the devotees, sato vrutte. As Prabhupada himself explains in the purport, that basically keeping the association of the devotees, staying in the association of the devotees, that is the main meaning coming out, sato vrutte. Also in the following footsteps means whatever their instructions they are giving us, their example they are setting by following in the footsteps, that also comes into picture. So these are the 6 things that are very much favorable that we need to take up, adopt, follow. Undoubtedly assure the complete success of your. Okay, continue with the report.
6 favorable qualities to enhance bhakti. Essential details about bhakti.
Now,
What is not
Prabhupada immediately doesn't define all these 6. Just like previously also, he gives a kind of introduction to the subject matter. So in the previous verse, he spoke about why at all living he get caught here in this world, so that he is forced to go through these urges, at the same time all these unwanted faults. So that theme he picked up, and he built on that path. So now here is about enhancing bhakti. Now he talks about bhakti in principle. What is bhakti? What is not bhakti? And how to perform it, where to perform it. All these little small aspects he talks here. Then he comes to the main subject, how it can be enhanced. So first we will know what it is and what it is not. Yes, Prabhu.
What is not bhakti? Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its a substance is practical activity.
Yeah.
Then secondly,
In general, when we speak of bhakti, outside world, they feel some kind of emotion. It's just an emotional outburst. All kinds of what to say, imitations of people. If you see in movies, also they show that kind of uh, shaking and speaking something differently. So these are all considered kind of bhakti, intense bhakti. But Prabhupada here quite clear in definition. It's not about imaginative ecstasy, and it's not also mental speculation, sentimental speculation, but it's more of a practical activity. So Prabhupada also many times gives the example of this uh, barren woman who may be trying to cry out in terms of labor pain, having a labor pain. But just because she was crying, it doesn't make the child appear. Right? So just by crying, child will not appear. So similarly, just showing external symptoms is not enough. We should have actually. Of course, definitely bhakti involves both heart and the execution of activities. Internally also we need to have the devotional sentiment that I am the servant of the Lord, I am acting for the pleasure of the Lord, I want to please the Lord. So these feelings, emotions definitely has to be there. Will be manifesting in due course of time as well. But that is not the only bhakti. But acting for the pleasure of Lord, taking up enterprises and risks for the pleasure of the Lord, just like Prabhupada. The example of mother also, just like mother, as we mentioned that if mother says to children, "Oh, my dear children, I love you so much, I care for you so much, I have so much of good feelings for you, but I cannot cook a breakfast for you, or I cannot do many things for you," but then it's not a actual exhibition of love, or without actually love exists in the heart or not, right? So if at all, if love is manifesting from the heart, it will manifest in terms of activities, extending, sacrificing, that we actually see in mothers' uh, activities. So we all have definitely had experiences and having experiences. So that's the applies to bhakti also. It's a practical activity. Of course, when the body is unable to function properly, the old ages, then it may be difficult in terms of doing many physical activities. But definitely, whatever we can, we will definitely chant the holy names. We'll go to. We will participate in some satsangs, online, offline. Do some kirtan, bhajans in home, offer flower to the Lord. So these are all activities on. So it's a more of an external activity. Also has to be. That's it. Prabhupada's main point here. It's not just internal emotion only. So there are many things can be spoken in this regard also. One pastime I just noted here that of course in regards to imaginative ecstasy, when one time one disciple came and said, Prabhupada, when I chant, I see some red light. Prabhupada said, no problem. You please keep on chanting, light will go. So people, initial days, there were a lot of imaginations they used to feel. So when you are practicing bhakti, our consciousness goes high and high and high, and we just lose ourselves and immerse in something else. So initially it was vague understanding of spiritual life, because they heard about Mayavad philosophies and many other philosophies. But Prabhupada quite patient to correct them, make them understand what actually bhakti is. And also one time Prabhupada was traveling from Vrindavan to from Delhi to Vrindavan, and that time Gurudas Prabhu and other one more devotee, Shrutikirti Prabhu, I think they were traveling. They were sitting behind, and the Prabhupada was sitting in front. So they thought, because we are all going to Vrindavan, and Prabhupada will speak a wonderful esoteric pastimes about Radha and Krishna and gopis, and they were waiting in back seat. And Prabhupada was just quiet, chanting Hare Krishna. And after a long time also he didn't speak. Then just before coming near to Vrindavan, Prabhupada just turned a little bit backside, turned his head and said over the shoulders, cement, he said. They were thinking, what Prabhupada said, cement? They couldn't get what Prabhupada is saying. Why at all cement came in picture? So then Prabhupada showed a big water tank next to the road and told that we also need to build such a water tank in Vrindavan, so that we get a good water to drink and everyone can peacefully stay in Vrindavan. So the devotees were, Gurudas Prabhu especially, saying that now Prabhupada is not just in air when he is coming to Vrindavan and thinking about so many other things, especially esoteric pastimes, but he is focusing us, giving us instruction and focus on practical activity also. Especially initial days, they were so much struggling to uh, build the foundations for the movement. They are, even sannyasis were counting the cement bags Prabhupada made them to count cement bags also. Even sannyasis in Mayapur, they used to see the construction of the Mayapur temple. They used to bring all the steel and cement from the Calcutta. So, yeah, bhakti is extending and sacrificing for the sake of the Lord. Just like a mother extends, serves the child. It's the manifestation of the love. Though we may not experience immediately the love, but definitely by these activities also, the love which is there already in the heart will definitely manifest in due course of time. So that's the major point that Prabhupada focused on in this purport, that utsaha means activity, enthusiasm. Yes, Prabhupada, continue.
Second, what is bhakti? Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu has defined devotional service as follows. Uttama Bhakti or unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. This devotional service should be free from any extraneous motive and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal jnana, and all other selfish desires.
Yes, that is bhakti. As we know, this is a famous statement from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. It should not involve any other karma and jnana, only focuses on pleasing the Lord.
More explanation of process of bhakti, ideal meditation and idle. What is that? Ideal meditation and idle meditation. Okay, sorry. Bhakti
Yeah.
is a sort of cultivation. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Cultivation of spirituality does not mean sitting down idly for meditation as some pseudo yogis teach. Such idle meditation may be good for those who have no information of devotion service, and for this reason it is sometimes recommended as a way to check distracting materialistic activities. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities, at least for the time being. Devotional service, however, not only puts an end to all
Nonsensical.
non-essential mundane activities, but also
No,
engages one in meaningful devotional activities.
it's nonsensical.
Nonsensical. Yeah.
Sensical.
Nonsensical. Sorry, nonsensical.
Sense and nonsense. Yeah.
Yes, nonsensical
Correct.
mundane activities, but also engages one in meaningful
And
devotional activities.
yeah. So Prabhupada is more contrasting between this process of bhakti, which is ideal meditation. Ideal meditation means you do something for Krishna, you try to please Krishna. In the spiritual world, everyone is not at all idle. Idle in the sense that they're just sitting and meditating on the Lord. No, they're always pleasing the Lord by their various activities. Definitely, it is also one of the bona fide method of trying to keep away from all nonsensical activities, the meditation, dhyana, yoga, as in sixth chapter of Gita, Krishna himself gives the different limbs, different ways of executing them. But the main point is also in that finally he is meditating on the Lord in the heart, the yogi also. That's the one of the main factor, the dhyana yoga. He has to meditate on Paramatma. But unfortunately, nowadays, the entirely perverted reflection, perverted understanding of meditation. That may help physically, as Prabhupada himself is writing that sometimes recommended as a way to check distracting material activities. Prabhupada quite often gives the example that just like a child, if the child is doing so many distracting or very disturbing activities, the mother may say, sit down, don't do anything at all, just sit down. Or just like Mother Yashoda, that he got the baby Krishna and tied to pole. Prabhupada explains in teachings of Kintanti, it is a general way previously in villages also. So they say that if you do any nonsense, I will catch you and bind to a pole. So Prabhupada explains the phenomena.
Your
So
voice
that
is little low, Prabhu. Your voice is little low.
voice is little low.
Mm-hmm. Sound is little low.
Okay. Am I audible? Is it okay?
No, yes, you're audible, but little
Okay.
sound is.
Okay. Okay. Maybe if possible, you can increase from your side.
Okay, okay. But nowadays, all these spiritual gurus, they are focusing more on meditation, Prabhu. Meditate karo, 1 ghanta, 2 ghanta.
Yeah, that's the
Sitting
Prabhupada.
in front, sitting in front of some vigraha and doing meditation.
Yeah, that's Prabhupada always criticizes half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, and whatever you want to do in the day, that's okay. This kind of meditations, yeah, they are not very serious about spiritual life. That so the only way to check those people is to propagate a real thing.
Because everywhere they are considered dhyan kaksha. Go to that room and doing meditation or dhyan.
That's the way of trying to propagate their things. But as long as we are trying to propagate the positive thing, other things will be taken care. Yeah, that's what Prabhupada always emphasizes, that we need to guard against all these false spiritualities. So we can explain, if at all, if we see our friends or any other members, we can explain what actually meditation is from 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and what is the real goal of life. Not just a good health in this life, but there is a goal to life. So when we explain, then definitely those who are open and sincere, they can definitely take up. Okay, that's Prabhupada main contrast he's giving here. Oh, sorry, it's saving the document. So here Prabhupada gives the more first initially the contrast between actual bhakti and so-called spirituality or yogis. And in terms of doing activities for Krishna. So that's the he's contrasting, that we take up some activities for the service of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. So in that way, we are different from all other yogis, those who are trying to curtail their activities and even give up the activities and go to Himalayas and try to meditate the Lord, not on the Lord, but Brahmajyoti. So that is not actual devotional service. Devotional service means activity, devotional service. So the term itself, Prabhupada coined devotional service. Generally, bhakti is considered like a devotion. In general, when they translate outside people, it's mostly they translate the devotion. Bhakti means devotion. Yoga of devotion. Bhakti yoga. That's how they translate. But unique rendition for acharyas is devotional service. The service, the moment service is involved, all the senses. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam. Rishikesha Sevanam. By the Rishikesha, by the Rishika, by the senses, we serve the Rishikesha. So that is has to be practiced. How to practice? So that is succinctly and very profoundly spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. That Prabhupada is quoting here the famous verse from 7th canto, that all these 9 pros of devotional service is the devotion. Anytime we hear the bhakti word, we immediately reflect, we should reflect in this 9. Whenever we hear bhakti word or devotional service, we have to immediately understand, okay, in these 9 limbs of devotional service. So what is bhakti? How to do practice bhakti? Oh, you practice all these 9 limbs of devotional service. Any one, any two, or any combination of 2 or 9. Any we can take up. And especially before taking up, the main foundation is always Shravanam, as Prabhupada always mentions. Shravanam, or hearing, is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. So that has to be under bona fide guidance. So that's the part of bhakti. So the moment we say bhakti, we remember these 9 limbs, practicing the 9 limbs under the guidance of spiritual master. So that's why Prabhupada is again bringing here the 4th chapter, the 4th verse, Tadviti Pranipatena. And he's giving that this is the way to practice bhakti. Continue, Prabhuji. It is further.
Fourth one, Prabhu.
It is further.
It is further recommended in the Mukanda Upanishad.
Mundaka.
What is that? Your photo is coming, Prabhu. I cannot go further. It is further recommended in the Mukunda
Mundaka.
Upanishad.
Yeah.
Upanishad.
Tadvignanatham. Sabrumya
Which is
Vignanatham
called
Bhagavad.
Sa Gurum Eva Vigachet. To understand that transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Thus, this method of submissively receiving transcendental confidential knowledge is not merely based on mental speculation.
Yeah. Am I audible now? Is it better?
Yes. No problem. No. Okay. Fine.
So here Mundaka Upanishad, famous quotation, Prabhupada always repeats, Eva Vigachet, one should. The verb itself is imperative. It's must. Abhigachet, Prabhupada emphasizes always. So that for that knowledge, for that realization, one should approach a bona fide guru. So that is also lacking in the other sampradayas. They may say that they have their guru, but neither parampara nor a guru qualification they have. So we need to understand in these aspects, and we can present these aspects whenever we come across some personalities who are propagating the so-called yogas or any other thing, spirituality. So thus this method is of submissively receiving transcendental knowledge and not based on mental speculation. So this is bhakti. Prabhupada is giving clarity and details of how to perform bhakti and under guidance and what bhakti is not in a clear manner. Yes, fourth one.
Why to perform bhakti? In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, Brahmananda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. In the course of transferring the universal creation of Brahma, some fortunate soul may receive the seed of the Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service. This is all by the grace of Guru and Krishna. The material world is a place of confinement for the living entities who are by nature Anandamaya, pleasure seeking. They actually want to be free from the confinement of this world of conditional happiness, but not knowing the process of liberation, they are bound to transmigrate from one species of life to another and from one planet to another.
Here is focusing on why to perform bhakti, because we are rotating in the cycle of birth and death. Brahmande Brahmite Kon. Anantakoti Brahmandas are there. And all the Brahmandas we were rotating, and by the grace of Lord, Bhagyavan Ji, we became fortunate by coming in contact with Guru and Krishna and by receiving that Bhaktirata Bij. So it's so rare. By understanding that, we need to take up bhakti with more enthusiasm. That's the point Prabhupada mentioning here. Why to perform bhakti? Because it is very rarely available. Anything rare, we want to, everybody likes to have it. Diamonds or rubies or pearls or any rare thing, rare antiques. People who want to have rare antiques also in their homes. Anything rare, it has a special charm. So this process of bhakti is also quite rare. Definitely, it's available for everyone. Rare in the sense it's not hidden for everyone, but people are not interested in that. It's available for everyone. It's easily available for everyone, but because unable to understand and practice it, that becomes quite rare. So we are, as Prabhupada is defining here, we are Anandamaya, pleasure seeking, and we don't want to be under the confinement. And we are being given this process of bhakti for the ultimate liberation. So that's how we need to practice bhakti with enthusiasm. Yes.
Who can perform bhakti? Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is giving such a chance to humanity as large. If by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens.
Yeah, here Prabhupada is concluding his introduction of bhakti. So in this way, living entities are wandering throughout material universe. When by good fortune one comes in contact with pure devotee, he hears from him patiently, and one begins to follow Bhagavatam. So who can perform? Okay, bhakti is available, but who can perform? Such opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. So Prabhupada always mentions that finally everything depends on our sincerity. Even mentioned Prabhupada in one letter, one sincere soul can run a center. He wrote to Brahmananda Swami Maharaj that one sincere soul is enough to run a center. So ultimately the sincerity is the bottom rock to practice bhakti. And for that person, seeing the sincerity in the heart, Krishna provides the different opportunities. So all of us definitely, either in this life or in previous lives, had that some sincere inquiry or kind of a desire. I want to know something beyond this ordinary life, or I want something about Lord. At various levels, everybody may have some desires to come in contact with the devotees or practice spirituality or understand bhakti, understand something beyond from the normal way of life, everybody living birth, old age, disease and death. So either by frustration or either by attraction, whatever it may be, we had some kind of a desire or some inclination. So seeing that sincerity, Krishna arranged in various ways to come in contact with the devotees. So by the mercy of devotees and by mercy of Srila Prabhupada especially, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a chance for humanity at large to practice bhakti, which is very rare, and to get liberation. Not just the liberation in the ordinary sense, but it's the highest liberation. So that's the process of bhakti is offered. And how to perform that bhakti is explained in more details by the 6 items. So when definitely one is practicing bhakti, how to catalyze the bhakti process so that we achieve the goal with more and more steadiness at the same time, swiftly. So by adding these elements like catalysts, these are like catalysts. They act as catalysts to fasten the process. Yes, Prabhuji, this is next theme Prabhupada is bringing out now. The things that are favorable bhakti, what is spoken in the verse. Now Prabhupada starts defining them and make us understand more deeply how to practice them and how to apply them in our life. Some other devotee can start reading.
Yes, some other devotee can carry on through. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Things that are favorable for bhakti, why we need to be enthusiastic. One should accept this opportunity to return home back to Godhead very enthusiastically. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material level, one has to be very enthusiastic in his particular field of activity in order to become successful. Student, businessman, an artist, or anyone else who wants success in his life must be enthusiastic. Similarly, one has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service. Enthusiasm means action, but action from whom? The answer is one should always act for Krishna. Krishna Arte Akila Chesta. Chaitanya CC Madhya 22.126.
Yeah, here Prabhupada is very in practical terms defining very beautiful statement as well. So the opportunity that we are being given, returning home back to Godhead, realizing our true nature, going beyond all these sufferings of birth, old age, disease, and death. from all these encumbrances and frustrations and disappointments and fears and sorrows. So many living entities constantly is bothered by all these 6 kinds of whips and 4 kinds of problems. So all these ways, one is suffering more than gaining happiness. Actually, it is even experientially, it is felt by everyone that misery causes more pain than the happiness that we feel when we gain some pleasure. The misery or distress that we feel is more intense than any other kind of pleasure or happiness that we experience. Experiential level wise, in experience, the distress or the misery or that is more intense than the pleasure experience in general also. Of course, there is a purpose for everything. That's Krishna's special arrangement here to make us understand this is not my place to live in. So just like a jail, the purpose of the jail, what is the purpose of the jail? Can anyone share? I think last time we discussed maybe something.
Punish the miscreants.
Okay. What is the main purpose of the jail? Anyone else?
To reform a person.
Yes. That is the main purpose. As Prabhu is saying that to reform the person. Reformation is the main purpose, and that includes maybe the punishment as one of the factor. But the reformation is the main purpose of the jail. So this material world is compared to jail, and the reformation is the main purpose of the jail. And punishment is one factor to induce the living entity to understand or think something is wrong here. So that opportunity that we have to return home back to Godhead, that we need to take up very enthusiastically, as Prabhupada mentioned. So without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. In Prabhupada applies to any field. We have to be enthusiastic in any field to get success. So similarity to devotional service. These are some easy, simple points to understand. And enthusiasm means action. But action for whom? Krishnarde Akila Cheshta. So this is Bhakti Rasamar Sindhu famous line. Krishnarde Akila Cheshta. Everything should be done for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's service. Now definitely, some activities may not be directly related to Krishna. Just like taking bath, maintaining the body, maintaining family, taking up job for maintenance of the family. So these are all supporting to the Krishna consciousness, then definitely they will also become bhakti. So when things that are supporting bhakti, when we take up, that is also comes under bhakti only. It is not just 9 limbs only bhakti. Definitely it's bhakti 9 limbs, but whatever is supporting those 9 limbs is also taken under the aspects of bhakti. So, but the point here is Prabhupada saying we should always act for Krishna. That is the point. Yes, Prabhupada, continue.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
In
To
order to
perfection in Bhakti Yoga, one has to perform devotional activities under direction of spiritual master in all phases of life.
Yeah.
But the Bhakti activities are limited to 9. How to always act for Krishna as so many other activities need to be carried out.
Yeah, as I explained that not only 9, there are other activities that we are doing, but how we understand that always we act for Krishna. How it is that Prabhupada explains very in a logical and technical manner. How we are need to act for always for Krishna. Yes.
It's not that one has to confine or narrow one's activities. Krishna is all pervading. Therefore, nothing is independent of Krishna. As Krishna himself states in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avaktya murtina matstani sarvabhutani na chaha tesha avastita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And under the direction of bona fide spiritual master, one is to make everything favorable for Krishna's service.
Yeah. So here, as Krishna is all expanding, all pervading, everything is Krishna's energy. So you just doubted everything in Krishna's service, either family, children, raising children, or any other activity. So by that, it is included in the process of bhakti, and it is not out of the process of bhakti activities. So that in that way also we are always acting for Krishna only. When we are conscious that it is for the pleasure of Krishna, before going job or after coming from job, or before any other activities that we are doing our business, then we offer our prayers to spiritual master and Krishna. That is, let it be for your pleasure, and let it not deviate me from the path of rules and regulations. So that we need to offer prayer, just like Brahmaji also before creation he offers praise to the Lord. My dear Lord, I am going to create such a creation that it is only will entangle all living entities, will give so much of misery to them. I am troubled by this service, but still it is a service to you. You are ordering me to serve. I want to serve you, but let it be in such a way that I will not forget you in due course of time in my service. And I also should not become proud when success comes, and when failure comes. Let me not be disappointed, and let me not forget you. So in that way, Brahmaji also offer praise before creating the universe. So in that way, we also follow before whatever services that we are taking up. We offer our prayers. In that way, it becomes a devotional offering to Krishna. So that way, in that way, just like prasadam, we offer prayers. Before honoring prasadam, we offer prayers. Before speaking, we offer prayers. Before reading, we offer prayers. So in that way, in every activity, we we make it spiritualized and as an offering to Krishna. Yes. Continue, bro. He Prabhupada gives example here how everything is connected to Krishna. And when we are offering everything to Krishna, that becomes a activity for Krishna. Yes.
For example, at present, we are using a dictaphone. The materialist who invented this machine intended it for businessmen or writers of mundane subject matters. We certainly never thought of using the dictaphone in God's service, but we are using this dictaphone to write Krishna consciousness literature.
Yeah. Continue.
Of course, the manufacture of the dictaphone is wholly within the energy of Krishna. All the parts of the instrument, including the electronic functions, are made up from different combinations and interactions of the 5 basic types of material energy, namely Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Akasha. The inventor used his brain to make this complicated machine, and his brain, as well as the ingredients, was supplied by Krishna. According to the statement of Krishna, Matstani Sarvabhutani, Bhagavad Gita 9.4, everything is dependent on my energy. Thus, the devotee can understand that since nothing is independent of Krishna's energy, everything should be doubted in his service.
Yeah. So this is the summary or conclusion that Prabhupada is building on the topic. So how we can engage, how can we act for Krishna always, how we can be engaged in Krishna service all the time, because everything is included in his energy, and anything that we are doing, as an example Prabhupada gave here, everything, in fact, the instrument itself is Krishna's energy, and so by offering the energy to Krishna back, so that becomes bhakti. Bhakti is quite simple. Prabhupada many times explains, whatever Krishna's property, everything is Krishna's property, including us. We are Krishna's, and whatever we have in possession, our body, our intelligence, and in our positions, whatever we have, we offer to Krishna in the sense that we use in Krishna's service. So in that way, we are Krishna is pleased by that. Patram Pashram Palam Toyam Yo Me Bhaktya Prayachati Tataham Bhakti Upahritam Asnami Prayatatmanaha. So Krishna is pleased even with the simple things. Whatever in possession, basically whatever we have in our possession, that we can offer to Krishna and please Krishna, and by that we always act for Krishna. So that's a simple formula for Bhakti. Prabhupada is made it very simple. Yes. Continue, bro.
What is enthusiasm? Endeavored executive with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called Utsaha or enthusiasm. Okay, this is good definition. Intelligence with intelligence. Krishna consciousness. The devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yuktam Vairagam Uchyate. The execution of devotion service is not a matter of ideal meditation, but is a practical action in the foreground of spiritual life.
Yeah, so here he's coming to a kind of summarizing enthusiasm. What he defines is a very, very profound definition of enthusiasm. Endeavor, there has to be some endeavor, means action, executed with intelligence. That means you are intelligently using your energy. Intelligently means you are not just like wasting energy without any intelligence. Means that we are not foolishly acting. There is a lazy intelligence, there is a busy intelligence, there is a lazy fool and busy fool, and there are different categorization in the outside world. But basically, intelligence, when we use intelligence, we can maximize the output or the results by our whatever endeavor that we are doing. So it's not cheating. But it's by Krishna's mercy. Some devotees are very intelligent to use all the resources in Krishna's service. If whatever intelligence Krishna gave us, we use that, and we want to please by that endeavor in Krishna consciousness. The three words are important. Endeavor also has to be there, and with whatever intelligence we have, we utilize it to maximize the pleasure of the Lord, to maximize the offerings to the Lord. In that way, we please the Lord. That is enthusiasm. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called Utsaha, enthusiasm. So that is, of course, again, Prabhupada comes to the basic point that it is not just idle meditation, but it has to be practical action in the foreground of a spiritual life. So then he continues the next two items in a combination manner, Nishayat and Dhairya. Nishayat means confidence. He has a great confidence. One has to be confident that we started the process. That confidence will take us more and more. And he combines with patience also, how one has to patiently awaiting the results. So, continue, bro.
These activities, initial confidence, direct patience. These activities must be executed patient. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, this Krishna consciousness movement was started single-handedly. And in the beginning, there was no response. But because we continue to execute our devotional activities with patience, people gradually begin to understand the importance of this movement. And now they are eagerly participating.
Yeah, here activities must executed with patience, dhairya. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Because even normal material activities needs a lot of patience to gain results. Just like studies also, if you want to get a degree, you have to wait for 4 years, or for that 4 years you need to study for 10-15 years in the school. So even normal material things need a lot of time, a lot of patience to wait to get a degree, so that we can get a job. Anything need a lot of patience. So same with the spiritual life also. We definitely heard the story about the rabbit and tortoise, how slow and steady wins the race. So, definitely enthusiasm doesn't mean a sporadic thing. It's just like a flower pot. A flower pot, of course, everybody has experience of flower pot in Deepavali. It's not that kind of enthusiasm. That is called Utsahamayi. In a technical term, it's called Utsahamayi, means we are only very enthusiastic for some time. It's like flower pot, it will come for 2, 3, maybe 30 seconds. That's it's again gone. It's not like that, but it has to be steadily growing also. That means patience. Any long term, especially in sports, there is a marathon running race. I don't know whether you heard the terms.
Yes,
There is called one is called marathon. It's
yes.
a 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer. So sprint is more of 100 meters, at max 200 meters. So that is called sprint. There are these two variations are there in the sports. So those who participated in marathon, I had some experience in college. Marathon, when we participate in marathon, the factor of steadiness is more important and takes weight than your speed. There are two things are there. One is speed is there, and one is steadiness is there, consistency or steadiness. But when we want to go long, then you have to participate in marathon, long distances. So the consistency or the steadiness takes precedence than the speed. One may be very speed in the initial run, and then one may become a slack, just like that rabbit. He was very fast in his initial attempt. Then he thought, okay, tortoise is coming late. Let me take some rest. So then tortoise slow and steady. He won the race. So the marathon steadiness is very much emphasized. So similarly, here patience is more of a steadiness. We patiently continue our process, though there may not be no results initially. Just like Prabhupada himself is giving his example. I didn't see any response from people, but we continued with the devotional activities with patience. People began understand the importance of this movement and eagerly participate. So this is all the credit goes to Srila Prabhupada, how he patiently continued with enthusiasm. So combination has to be there. Only eagerness, we may give up after some time. Only patience, it is also not a very ideal thing. Only patience, okay, I will wait patiently. Whenever Krishna gives, let him give. Love of Godhead, I don't know what is love of Godhead and what these people are saying. Let him give whatever he wants and whenever he wants. I am happy with whatever I am. No, we have to be enthusiastically eagerly taking up some devotional activity, some services, extending. So like that eagerness has to be there. That enthusiasm has to be there. Otherwise, it is not befitting to devotional service. Just being satisfied with whatever we are in comfort zone. So no, that enthusiasm has to be there, along with patience. So when we understand the importance, then we are eagerly participating. So unless we understand the importance, anything that we take up as important, we give a lot of priority. So if we give a lot of importance to health, so that's why we always give priority to health, takes proper rest, taking regular prasad times, and whatever need for health. And we consider health is important. That's why we eagerly take up whatever needs for good health, and that is important. So the point is, anything that we understand important, then we take it more seriously. So similarly, spiritual life also, when we understand its importance, we are enthusiastic more and more. Yes, bro, continue. Maybe other thing what you want to continue?
Yeah, Prabhuji, just this paragraph and then.
Yeah, this one you can read online.
One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instruction from spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna.
Yeah. So one should take up instructions. Prabhupada quite repetitive in his purports especially here also, to surrender to Guru, take instructions, practice, and execute. So the repetition need to be seen as an emphasis. Just like when you relish any delicacy in a sweet, then when you are getting repetitively the dry fruits, kaju or badam or any other thing, you relish it more and more in sweets or paneer in a sabji or whatever. So you relish more. The repetition is not causing you a frustration. So similarly, many things are repetitive in Prabhupada purports. Especially here, he is emphasizing more on instructions of spiritual master and executing them. Yes. Any other devotee?
The successful execution of Krishna conscious activities requires both patience and confidence. A newly married girl naturally expects offspring from her husband, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Of course, as soon as she is married, she can attempt to get a child, but she must surrender to her husband confident that a child will develop and be born in due time. Similarly, in devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident.
Yeah, here Prabhupada gives a practical example. The disciple and spiritual master is also compared to a husband and wife. The spiritual master gives the seed, and the disciple receives the potent seed, and he keeps in the heart of the fertile ground. So then, as he keeps on pouring the water, the Bhaktilata beach grows. So, but it needs time, patience. Just like Prabhupada explaining here, that one has to wait for the baby to grow in due course of time. She cannot immediately expect. She needs, basically the point is the patience. Similarly, devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident and patient, both. Yes, please continue, Mother. Hare Krishna.
The devotee thinks, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful execution of devotional service.
This is called confidence. So this devotee, we need to practice this thinking. These kinds of thoughts.
As already explained, one should enthusiastic.
Yes, I think voice is a little breaking. Sorry, I could not hear.
That's
yeah, one
Guruji,
minute.
from where I'll start?
So here Prabhupada is emphasizing that a devotee keeps on practicing. Is also that these thoughts has to be practiced as well. Thoughts in a sense is like a more of a prayer. We keep on repeating the prayer. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful execution of the course. This is called confidence. Actually, this limb, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, is one of the 6 limbs of surrender that we definitely heard and read also in many places. So of the 6 limbs, 2 are mainly favorable and unfavorable, as we are discussing in the second and third verse. The devotee has to practice anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshasyati iti vishvasa avasya rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will protect me, avasya rakshibe Krishna, and Krishna will maintain me. Gopurtve varanam tada. Krishna will maintain me. So these are third and fourth. Krishna will protect me and Krishna will maintain me. And then last 2 are Karpanya and Atmanikshepa, fully surrender to the service of the Lord, and humility. These 6 limbs has to be more and more. We see our devotional practice in these 6 limbs of surrender. The more we are surrendering means the more these are increasing day by day. So in that way we practice all these 6 limbs as and when it's possible. Let's continue. Tat
karma pravartana. As already explained, one should not be idle, but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles. Tat tat karma pravartana. Neglect of the regulative principles will destroy devotional service. Details of execution. In this Krishna consciousness movement, there are 4 basic regulative principles: forbidding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. A devotee must be very enthusiastic about following these principles. If he becomes slack in following any of them, his progress will certainly be checked. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends tat tat karma pravartana. One must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vedi Bhakti. In addition to these 4 prohibitions, yama, there are positive regulative principles, niyama, such as the daily chanting of 16 rounds on Japamala beads. These regulative activities must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. This is called tat tat karma pravartana, or varied engagement in devotional service.
Yeah. So the purport is quite clear and simple. So that's why there is, so these are the main principles Prabhupada is speaking. Simple, and of course we definitely heard, and we need to emphasize here Prabhupada because we need to execute them.
પાછલી વખતે એ બધા એડવાન્સ લઈને આપીને પાછા લીધા હતા.
Hare Krishna. Maybe you can mute. Or you are making some comment. I could not get it.
પથાર
So-
ગયેલી.
So here, Tat Tat Karma Pravartana, as Prabhupada mentioned the definition, that 9 process of devotional service is that we are executing. And here is little more details are how to execute is given. So in the translation, Prabhupada stated that 9 limbs of devotional service is Tat Tat Karma Pravartana, that executing this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And also in that we need to follow all these principles as well. We need to execute those 9 by following all these principles. Not laxing, become slack or lax in these principles, especially 4 related principles and the chanting Hare Krishna. That is the main process of Vaidhi Bhakti.
Sangha Tyagat. Furthermore, in order to be successful in devotional service, one must give up the association of undesirable people. This includes karmis, jnanis, yogis, and other non-devotees. Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by one of his householder devotees about the general principles of Vaishnavism, as well as the general routine activities of a Vaishnava, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, Asat Sangha Tyaga, a Vaishnava Achara. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees.
Yeah, Sangha Tyaga, as mentioned previously, also Jana Sangha, one must give up association of undesirable people. So the basic point in association means we are trying to develop some desires in the association of other people. Generally, any association, we change our desires. Just like previously we were someone else, but when we started associating with devotees, subtly we were changing our entire desires and our intentions, our goals. So basically, association affects our desires. We were aiming at something else initially. When we started associating with devotees, that association affected us in terms of our desires. So that is the main symptom of association. Taking association, giving association means we are going or we are taking ourselves away from sense gratification and we are going towards Krishna more and more. That is the actual association. If that is happening, that means we are rejecting or going away from or disinterested in all these activities related to the body and senses, and going towards more and more inspired and taking up actions towards devotional service and Krishna and our spiritual life. That means our association is becoming stronger and stronger. And wherever it is weaker and weaker, then this opposite will happen. The more we come down in our devotional aspects, and the more non-devotional aspects increases more and more. That means we are taking opposite association. We are oppositely affected. So that is the main principle of association. Generally, it acts in a triangle way. association is like a triangle. Means that by seeing others, we are affected. Though definitely uh, one may not have a desire to perform devotional service, or one may not having any kind of a desire for a particular thing, just like either a japa or a kirtan or any other some devotional aspects. But when one sees that one is relishing very much, either a sannyasi or a advanced devotee, or when you read a book. So though we didn't have a desire for that thing, but by associating with the devotee or by seeing the devotee, so we start also developing a desire. So in that way, we also start developing more and more desire to do that. That works in a triangle way. So that is the main point of association. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also mentions that asatsanga tyaga ei vaishnavachar. So all these karmis, gyanis, and yogis, not only they are personalities, we also need to understand they are also mentalities. So we have these mentalities, karmi mentality, jnani mentality, and yogi mentality. And you definitely might have understood in Bhagavad Gita all these mentalities. Like karmi is more of an enjoying mentality, jnani is rejecting mentality, yogi's mentality is like perfection, whatever we are doing, in whatever activity, even devotional activities, when we are focused. When perfection becomes the goal, then it's the main of yogi mentality. So these Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. We need to uncover these mentalities and more favorable to Krishna, Krishnanushilanam, Anukulena Krishnanushilanam, Anukulya that bhava, that favorable towards Krishna's pleasure has to be foreground, or it should be the only goal. So when that is, then we are coming more and more closer towards that. So yeah, we are not associating means that we are coming out of these mentalities. So one more point here that gives up association. So it's quite impractical that we cannot live in a forest. Right? Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people and non-devotees, especially as Grihasthas. We cannot stay alone. We may have to go to job, especially those who are working. They have to go job and be with people. Outside non-devotees, you have to deal with people, or to speak of being with them as a deal. But gives up means he is not taking up the association means he is not taking up their intentions or desires mainly. So we are not taking their association, but we give association. That is one main point. So in giving association means we are giving in the sense that if possible we give the devotional aspects to them, or some at least neutral ideas, at least as a human being, moral ideas, encouraging them with some neutral aspects if they are unable to accept some direct spiritual principles. But definitely we don't take up their association means we don't take their desires and their intentions, their aspirations when we are meeting them. Be in the world, but not of the world. That's what Jesus mentions, and may it applies to us as well. Be in the world, but not of the world. But it's a quite elevated stage. Definitely, I agree. But we need practice. We keep on practicing. But whenever we are affected, then we immediately take medicine. Just like when we go outside and we are affected by the association. Because we are sadhakas, we will get affected many times. But we immediately come and take medicine. That means we come and again take up spiritual activities, chant rounds, or do kirtan, absorb in kirtans, or taking up some worship of the deities, doing some devotional activities, direct devotional activities, reading, absorbing ourselves. So by that we counteract whatever the poison came in. So that means we are giving up the association. So that these are some things we need to practice. Slowly, we come to a certain point where we are not affected by the external association. And some other devotee wants to continue. Can continue. The other.
Srila Narottam Das Thakur has therefore recommended Tandera Charana Sei Bhakta Sanevas. One has to live in the company of pure devotees and execute the regulatory principles laid down by previous acharyas. The 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Jeev Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. If one lives in the association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is opening many centers just to invite people to live in the company of devotees and practice the regulatory principles of spiritual life.
Yeah, here Prabhupada is commenting this too, that association of the devotees and giving up a non-devotee association. Tandere Charane Bhakti Sanevas. So in the loving association of the devotees we stay and we execute the devotional service. If one is living in the association, then one is not living in the association of the non-devotees. Of course, the biggest non-devotee is the mind. So though we are staying in ashram or home or wherever we are, that is the rascal mind is the biggest non-devotee. So we need to avoid that association as well by making our intelligence strong to always focus on the Krishna conscious aspects of whatever is possible for us. So we need to be careful. That staying alone means going away from the mind. That is the aspect of staying alone. Staying alone apart from the mind. So definitely ISKCON opening many centers to invite people. Stay in the association of the devotees and practice principles of spiritual life. So this is a great advantage. Actually, institute when definitely there are different aspects to the institute. Samstha, when the institute is there, then there are both pros and cons as well. But definitely, if it was not for ISKCON, then many of us might have not thought about, okay, what is spiritual life? We are not so self-inspired to chant 16 rounds or inspired to stay in a spiritual place and practice spiritual life vigorously, follow four regulative principles. No, because the association is manifested in terms of institute also, that has a great strength. So in Kali Yuga especially, that's Sangha Shakti, that coming together is a great strength. So that's why it acts as a great benefit, staying together. Of course, in some rare cases it may not be, but that needs to be dealt very sensitively. But in general, we need to be in association of the devotees and practice spiritual life. Yes, Rohit.
Devotional service means transcendental activities. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by the 3 modes of material nature. This is called Vishuddha Sattva, the platform of pure goodness, or goodness free from contamination by the qualities of passion and ignorance. In this Krishna consciousness moment, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend Mangalarti or morning worship. Then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtan, and so forth. Thus, we hold continuous activities in devotional service 24 hours daily. This is called Satovritti, or following in the footsteps of previous acharyas who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities.
Yeah. So Devotional activities, devotional service means transcendental activities. As said, as we discussed, is the internal potency of the Lord. All the 9 aspects of devotional service is an internal potency of the Lord. So in that way, they are transcendental. They are transcendental activities beyond the modes. So Prabhupada emphasizing that's why we practice all these aspects of Sato Vritti, staying in the association of the devotees and following in the footsteps of previous acharyas, Sato Vritti, Sato Vritti, who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna's activities. That is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all acharyas, how to engage ourselves. If it's not for devotional service, then only chanting, we cannot chant all the day. Right? Most of us, it's not at all possible because of contamination of the heart and various pushings from the inside. It's quite difficult. But these activities of Krishna consciousness saves us from lot of contamination of the external world. Yes, please continue.
If one strictly follows the advice given in this verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, namely being enthusiastic, being confident, being patient, giving up the association of unwanted persons, following the regulative principles and remaining in the association of devotees, one is sure to advance in devotional service.
Yes.
In this regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that the cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation, the collection of mundane opulence by advancement of fruitive activities, and the desire for yoga siddhis, material perfections, are all contrary to the principles of devotional service. One has to become thoroughly callous to such a non-permanent activities and turn his intention instead to the regulative principles of devotional service.
You can read the translation.
Yeah. According to Bhagavad Gita 2.69, what is the night for all beings is the night of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is the night for introspective sage.
Yeah,
Engagement.
here now Srila Prabhupada summarized all the limbs in the sense that when we follow, we sure to advance. Enthusiasm, confidence, patience. So these things we need to cultivate day by day. We exercise them. It's not that definitely by practice of devotional service, they also in the association we grow, but every aspect needs some attention. Every aspect needs some contemplation. Sorry. So every aspect needs some contemplation and giving importance and emphasis. And only we start slowly understanding the subtleties and finer aspects of the qualities, confidence and patience. So all this we need to practice. By that we surely advance. And as Prabhupada also mentioned that about karmi, jnanis and yogis, how their mentalities we need to avoid. So those mentalities, we understand them, we try to acknowledge them when they are present in our hearts, and we slowly try not to fulfill them, rather try to purify them, these mentalities. So in that way also, we avoid non-permanent activities. So the transcendental activities that are mentioned by Prabhupada, Bhakti is like a transcendental activities. As mentioned, devotional service means transcendental activities. And all other activities are non-permanent activities. Means if you perform, then we don't get the result. Or the results will be temporary, only pertaining to this body or this world. They are not come with us. They will not help us to progress spiritually. So that's the main point. Anisha Sarvabhutana, famous verse says. Now Prabhupada starts giving evidences from Shastra to boost our confidence. Various slokas he quotes how by practicing a devotional service and by not giving to all other aspects of karma and jnana and yoga, we build our confidence in devotional service. Yes, Guruji, please read.
Engagement in the devotional service of the Lord is the life and soul of the living entity. It is the desired goal and supreme perfection of human life. One has to become confident about this, and one also has to be confident that all activities other than devotional service, such as mental speculation, fruitive work, or mystic endeavor, will never yield any enduring benefit. Complete confidence in the path of devotional service will enable one to attain his desired goal, but attempting to follow other paths will only succeed in making one restless. In the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, one must be calmly convinced that those who have given up devotional service to engage in severe austerities for other purposes are not purified in their minds despite their advanced austerities, because they have no information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. It is further stated in 7th canto, although mental speculators and fruitive actors may perform great austerities and penances, they still fall down because they do not have information about the lotus feet of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord, however, never fall down. In Bhagavad Gita 9.31, the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures Arjuna, Kaunteya pratijanihi namay bhakta pranashyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Again in Bhagavad Gita 2.14, Krishna says, Neha vikrama nasti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamalpasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Yeah. So these are some of the verses from 10th. Of course, is in your copy is 7th canto is written.
Yes, Prabhuji?
In your copy, it's 10th canto or 7th canto? You read.
Seventh canto, bro. It is written as 7th canto. Okay,
Oh,
here
I
it is
think
10th canto. Okay.
maybe I think they edited the later versions. I think it's previous version or it's
Yeah,
2019,
it is
2019
quite
version.
old,
Folio.
Prabhuji, this book. This book
Okay, I think
is...
it's a 2019 folio I copied from. I think it's 10th canto. But anyway, it's from
yes,
Bhagavatam. It's from Bhagavatam. The verses are.
yes.
Now, Prabhupada is giving confidence from various slokas. How by performing bhakti, we come to the final goal of our life, the loving service of the Lord. And taking up any other services, any other aspects like jnana, yoga, austerities, finances, we will not achieve the final results. So, in fact, Lord is himself is giving assurance. So these are some of verses which give us more and more confidence. But beautiful statement that engagement in the service of the Lord is the life and soul of living entity. Life and soul is like a more of a great enthusiasm and energy giving. So we may not be feeling like that, but though we are not enthusiastic, Prabhupada one time mentioned, disciple asked, Prabhupada, I don't feel enthusiasm. No problem. You act enthusiastically. Then one day you will definitely feel enthusiasm. So internally we may not immediately feel to chant 16 rounds. We may not feel to go to association. We may not feel to go to temple. That feeling may not be very strong right now. But by acting with intelligence, slowly, internally also we develop great desire to practice devotional service. We develop a taste in devotional service. Okay. So we pause here for the day and next week we continue our discussion on this topic. Prabhupada writes a beautiful statements later on also. Very wonderful, inspiring statements. So if you have any question, maybe next time we can discuss. We'll pause here for the day. Thank you very much. Chalo Prabhupada ki jai. Devotee Vaishnava
Prabhu, Hare
ki
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I will end the meeting, Sagar Prabhu.
Hari Bol Dandavат Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.